This is a digital studio magazine. It's from spring of 2012. And I probably bought this one new. I'm thinking, even though I did get about 20 or 30 of these a while back on a online auction, but I think this is one I bought new because I bought these off and on over the years, and I probably have given some away and kept some and just kind of recycled these through my collection. But most of mine are not digital studio. Most of mine are Somerset Studio. The digital studio, I've always been kind of interested in photo manipulation and digital art and collage, digital collage. But these are way advanced than what I've ever done. But I just want to flip through these. As I went through this magazine, kind of refreshing my memory last night, I thought about what I could do with this magazine. I did see somebody using images from these magazines for collage. So I'm kind of thinking about that because there's a lot of things that are pretty cool in these magazines that you don't see in, say, a Vogue or whatever. And that one thing I really like are the different type fonts and things that they use, and just the really unique pictures. But I spent a long time looking at this particular artist, Beth Spencer. I don't see much about her on the internet, so that's another thing too that I do. When I see an artist in any of these magazines that I like, I tend to go out and kind of, look them up on the web so I can look at more of their art. And I really liked her art, but I really didn't see much more about her beyond this article on the internet. The one thing I wondered about too, most of her work, of course, is photo manipulation or digital. And so she hand draws some of these images, scans them in, and then incorporates them into stock photos and that sort of thing. Very cool work. Really, really awesome. Again, I've done some of this, but my work is nowhere near as advanced. And I've yet to incorporate some of my hand-drawn images into my digital art. That's definitely something to think about. This particular artist does a lot of art journaling, so a lot of journaling thoughts and that sort of thing in her work. This artist uses phrases. So I think this would be kind of fun too, to just pull some of these different images. A lot of these I have in another book, these types of images. I've also collected old scrapbooks through the years, so I hope to go through those and do better scans than what I've done in the past of some of the images in those scrapbooks, but they're a lot like some of these more vintage type images. I also have a lot of old books that I've collected over the years, so I would like to pull out words and phrases and that sort of thing from some of those books too. As I looked at these, I thought, wow, some of these things would be really cool to incorporate into a junk journal or an art journal. This was published in 2012, so using iPhones and cell phones was still kind of new as for photography. Now it's our main camera. But some very cool images that this person has taken and incorporated into digital art. Again, I like some of these to cut out and collage. That would be very hard for me because these magazines I consider kind of precious. Not this one so much, but I saw another artist talking about doing that, collage artist, using this particular magazine for art journaling. So but definitely something to think about. I'd love to find some of these facial stamps. I don't do much with stamps, but um, I'm kind of on the lookout if I go thrifting or whatever for these types of stamps. Again, if I see an artist I like, I've not looked her up, but I might have to look her up. This I thought was real pretty and would work really well in an art journal. And I just think that this is really pretty. And I thought, wow, now this is a really good area where you could kind of scan in things that you paint and layer and paint, and then to take it into not a digital collage. I did a lot of digital collaging, and then I kind of moved back to physical analog collage, um, just because I had more time. I always liked working on the computer. And I think I got a little burnout because my job involved a lot of computer work, and so since I've retired, I've kind of stepped away from that, but I'm sure I'll get back to it again. Very cute images. I really liked this person's work and how he's integrated vintage photographs into his digital collage. And I have thousands of scanned old photographs, slides, that sort of thing in my collection. I've not kept the physical, but I still have the digital images. Very interesting work, fun work. It's never really grabbed me, but as I was looking at it last night, I thought, maybe I'm changing my perspective, but I thought, I love these bright colors. I love the whimsy of these images. I like that we're integrating natural with human. Now this has got to be my favorite in here, and I really like a minimalist style. So I'm kind of finding out as an artist what I really like and what I'd really like to incorporate into my work. And frankly, maybe that's why I'm a little put off by the other work. I just like the simplistic, minimalist feel. The muted tones, really like that. Again, good use of pattern, good use of images, but the use of pattern on these is really amazing. I'm not even sure that this program Polyvore is even around anymore that this person used, but I mainly use Photoshop for a lot of different things. Just what I have for fun and what I've done for years is messing around with Photoshop. But look at all these patterns. That kind of grabs me too. These types of things I would use more for inspiration to integrate, if you like to do pattern work into my work. Good use of color. I like the purples and the muted greens, and look at the pink rose there. Good use of colors and details, integrating in that postmark. This is really cool. Okay. I really like these faces. I just thought this was very amazing work. And I thought this looked like fun, like something you could do, like I could do with my granddaughter, just sit down and sketch out some of these easier type images like this and create scenes with her, just to see if she'd have fun seeing that. Just some everyday stuff, that we always see. Cute family scrapbooking type images. Beauty Seeker. Again, just a real minimalist style where the focal point takes up just a small area on the page. And this image over here with poetry or whatever. I think this is inspirational to me. This could even be something that I would do digitally using Photoshop, taking some of those vintage photographs I was talking about that I've scanned and integrating them in with some simple elements. I Dream of a House by the Sea. Oh, that'd be lovely. I really liked, this is actually more of a physical collage that this person has done. So I really, again, this is an inspirational piece. I would like to try some similar type collage using, I've got a lot of book text, different types of paper like this graphing paper. I've got old paper, I've got painted papers. So yeah, so that's definitely something. I like this because I take a lot of photographs of old cars, so I thought it'd be fun to print some of those out, cut them up, and rearrange them onto a collage of some type. Like the use of old photographs, just using digital images, text, again, into a digital collage. So there's a lot of inspiration in this magazine for me, and that's why I buy these. You get the idea and then pursue your interpretation of that person's idea. Not to copy, because that would be a violation of copyright, but just to use it as a basis of inspiration. Again, I really like this. Oh, that's really cool. Look at that. I love what they did around that face. Plus, then to see that fiery kind of orange color up there, that's really beautiful. Just so many talented people, and it's great that this magazine exists to kind of showcase this. I don't think they do digital artists anymore. I don't know for sure, but it's a great it was a great magazine. This is the only copy I have of Digital Artist, so just some ideas and inspiration. This is the oldest copy that I've got of Somerset Studio. It's from 1998. I flipped through this the other night. There wasn't much in here that I found that I was kind of inspired by or wanted to do. It's not this isn't great stuff. I think it is. It's just not my style. The only thing I kind of liked, but more for watercolor, was this work here. But this actually is print work, so not something I'm interested in doing, but I just liked it for like inspiration for a watercolor. So you see, this is kind of the beginning. I think it started publishing a couple of years before this particular issue. Like I said, this is my oldest one. And yeah, there's some cool stuff in here, and definitely some great artists. And again, what I really love about this magazine is it gives artists an opportunity to showcase their work. So I wanted to show you, and I'll have a more in-depth video at some point on this. This has got to be one of my favorite watercolor books. I love it. It's got just about everything watercolor in it you need to know. So if you happen to come across a copy of it somewhere, be sure and grab it. It's kind of hard to find, and it's kind of expensive, actually. I did work on this particular painting a little bit, and I'll do a demo later. I'm not real thrilled with how it turned out, but I'm kind of okay with it. Got this big kind of bloom down here but I'm kind of like, okay, you know, shadows, grass, whatever. That's pretty cool. And like I said, you know, I'm learning or relearning, and so this is kind of what I'm working on here. From this book, I am using arches, in just a smaller size, in a block. This is just so handy. It's 7 by 10, a good size to work on and practice. And you can see I've done a lot. And because it's in this block that's sealed all the way around, it doesn't, all my messing around doesn't impact the papers underneath. This is something else I'm working on, and So I'll share with you. I don't have it here right now, I don't think. I wanted some better metallic markers, and I grabbed one that was gold, and I had actually gotten it at the dollar store. And I thought these are just perfect just for my doodles and messing around. And I went back to the dollar store yesterday and I found a couple of silver. And I'm pretty good for this kind of work. Doesn't have to be anything special, archival or anything like that. What I do is I photograph these and I do make them available as prints. But when I take them into Photoshop, it does kind of allow me to make some changes if I don't like the colors or whatever. I'm not real crazy about this. It could have been better. I had this cheap set of metallic watercolors that I used. So I think that's why I got this kind of splooshy looking stuff. And what I should have been using, and I did use a little bit on this, but I should have used more, were these Derwent metallics. So I might try to kind of fix this background a little bit using these Derwent metallics. But right now this is where it's at. Or I might just say live and learn. Next time I will use the Derwents if I want that kind of metallic look. Photographed really nice. So I'm kind of okay with where it's at. I could have done more to it. I go back in and darken some of these lines and that sort of thing. But I like that I was able to do patterns, make an interesting drawing. It's somewhat loosely based on neurographic drawing too. But it's not a neurographic drawing. This is what I'm working on next. I'm going to fill this in with color pencil. This is going to take some time. I will darken in some of these lines that I've already drawn. This is an experiment. I'm not sure that I'm going to use any particular one brand of color pencil on this. But I am looking at, I've been using Art and Fly. So, I'll show you this. So these are the Art and Fly pencils that I have, a set of 48. It's probably a good thing the set of 72 or 120 isn't available right now. Probably a good thing. I think I would have gone back in and bought it. I really like these pencils. They're pretty soft. They're pretty creamy. I don't think I've practiced blending them, which is something I need to do. I've got some new blending markers and that sort of thing. But they did kind of remind me of Faber-Castell polychromos, just kind of the feel of them and the look of them, and even a little bit. I mean, they go on pretty creamy. I think these are oil-based pencils. It says right on the thing here they're oil-based, so I think the polychromos are too. So maybe not as blendable as a wax-based. You can see I've used these quite a bit as a wax-based Prismacolor, for example. So this is my latest project for today. In addition to washing a lot of clothes. So I'm going to try using these. I'm pretty sure I'll be grabbing some other pencils though too. So I think that's all that I had to show you. Be looking for more on Somerset Studio. I've got some older ones. I don't have any real big plan for grabbing new ones and reviewing them. There's plenty of people that do those. But if you're lucky enough to find some older ones, if you're kind of into the polychromos pencils, be sure and swatch them out. If you're kind of into Somerset Studio magazines, be sure and follow my channel. So yeah, that's all I'm touching on for today. That's what I'm working on, and see you next week.